All right, so again, I'm gonna have my layer that I named template. So I'm gonna rename it template. Okay. I'll do it right from the beginning, just like you guys. Then I'm gonna do a file, place, and I'm gonna grab my cat. And I'm gonna place him right there, kind of center him on the screen. Then this is the part I was saying. Hold on, I'll try to use my little cursor thing, which was kind of cool, to annotate it. So, really, this is the one part you're not gonna let me do. All right, there we go. Annotate. There we go. So you need to click on the layers and then click right here on the cat's face. And that's going to bring up that layer options, and you're going to tell it to be a template. And then we're going to make a new layer again and call it final artwork. And then you'll notice how it kind of grays out the cat. The reason why is that way you can see what it is that you're drawing on top. So one of the things that I like to do, and you may think that this is kind of a weird assignment, like why do I need to redraw something? But there's going to be a lot of times that you're going to have to redraw something in Illustrator. And just to give a little bit of a background on that, a lot of times customers will give you a scanned in version of their logo, and whoever their graphic designer originally was or something like that, like they don't have their vector version of the logo and they need you to redraw it. So these things happen all the time. So that's why it's good to know and understand these skills for redrawing something from kind of a JPEG in Illustrator. So whenever I'm redrawing something, I always want to make sure that I'm turning my rulers on, because I use my rulers a lot. So you can go to View up at the top, Rulers, and then Show the Rulers. And the rulers, the reason why is you can drag down little guides. So I'm going to zoom in right to the top of his head, and I'm going to drag a guide to the top of his head. And then Command 0 zooms me back out. And then I'm going to zoom in again right to the side of his face. And I'm going to drag a ruler to the side of his face. And the reason why and then actually I'm going to do one more at the bottom of his face, right here. And the reason why I do this is I know that his face is a circle. I'm saying his. We're going to pretend it's a boy cat. I know that his face is a circle, so I can start with my circle, and you'll notice that I have my fill set to nothing, and then I always use, and this is just, again, a personal preference, but I always use hot pink as the border, just because I know nothing on the cat is hot pink, so I know what's my drawing and what isn't. So I start with my circle tool at the left-hand corner that I've created with these rulers, and I'm just going to click and drag until I manually get to the other side of his face right there. And then let me just, I hate Zoom. It always puts everything all over the screen. And then I'm also going to go to Effect, Stylize, and I want to round the corners. Even though it is a circle, his face isn't an exact circle. So I'm going to try to see if I can round the corners a little bit. Sometimes that does it. Sometimes I might need to use a rounded rectangle for this. We'll see. He's not an exact circle. Let's try the rounded rectangle. He might be a rounded rectangle. We'll go to Effect, Stylize, around the corners. I always turn the preview on. which for some reason is not showing me the preview. Oh, that's because I went in the wrong direction. Round corners. Apply a new effect, yes. I don't know why aren't you showing me? I don't know why he's not showing me preview. All right, there we go. That did it. Let's see, close them up just a little. That seems to be the closest we're gonna get. So the rounded rectangle is a little bit closer than the circle. So and it's not going to be exact unless if you really sat here and drew this. So don't be thinking like, oh, this is driving me nuts. Don't worry. All right, so I've got his face now. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the polygon tool, and I need a triangle, which can be made through the polygon. But I need to just, instead of clicking and dragging, I just need to click on the screen and tell the tool how many sides I want, which is 3 for a triangle. And that gives me my triangle, but his ears still have that rounded effect to them. So I'm going to go to Effect, Stylize, Rounded Corners. Oh, this time it's going to preview it, I guess. And they're probably right around like that, 0.25, I'm going to guess. Click off, bring it down, and zoom in. And I'm going to try to move the ears how they're supposed to look. So you have a couple of different ways you can do this. You can do it with the rotate tool. You can tell it, and you'll notice I'm working in Essentials Classic. I feel like Essentials Classic just gives you more tools to work in that come up on the screen. You can go to the Properties tool and find the angle to rotate it. Or you can even hit the letter E and see how it gives you the little rotate, which is this tool, the free transform tool. That rotates it too. And then if you use the free transform tool, you can even scale it as well while you're over here. So you can just grab the bottom and the sides. And again, we're following the pink outline, not the red outline that it shows of the triangle. We're following along with the pink outline. So there's one ear. And then he has another triangle inside of his ear as well. So again, you don't need to redraw a triangle. What you can do is you can make a copy of this triangle and place it inside. So there's, again, with Adobe, there's multiple different ways to do things. You can do an edit copy and an edit place, or you can hold down the Option key while you have it selected, and you'll see how it goes from one black arrow to 2 arrows. That's how you know it's going to make a copy. So I'm holding down the Option key, and I have a second triangle. And then I can, again, hit the letter E, which brings me to that free transform tool. And I can drag this one up to the size I need it. And then I know that they're both rotated on the same angle too, but I'm going to have to change the radius of the corners because this one's not as rounded. So I'm going to go back to my black arrow key. I'm going to go back up to Effect, Stylize, Round Corners. I'm going to have to say Apply a new effect. See if it'll bring it down. Come on. Sometimes it doesn't let you do that. Let me see. I'm at 17.59. That's not a weird angle. 17.59. Hold on. 17.59. Rotate. This one's still has a little bit of a rounded edge to it though, but it's rotated a little bit different. So let me, again, I'm gonna hit the letter E. I'm gonna rotate it just a smidge. It's just off a little bit from the other part of the ear. And then I'm gonna go to stylize round corners. And 0.125 will do it. There we go. And I've got one ear. So this cat, pretty symmetrical. So I'm pretty sure that once I've made one ear, I can copy this ear and bring it over here. I don't need to redraw this ear, the other ear. I should be able to get away with copying and pasting the ear and just kind of rotating it a little bit. So I'm gonna grab this part first. And again, I'm gonna hold down the Option key to make a copy of it and just drag it over. Then I'm gonna hit the letter E and I'm just gonna rotate them a little bit. And move them. And rotate them and just close them down a little bit. And rotate them a little bit that way. And just keep kind of working with it until it looks like the other ear. There we go. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the inside of the ear. I'm going to hold down the Option key and click and drag it over here. And then hit the letter E. And just turn that guy. I'm a big fan of, not reinventing the wheel. If you've got pieces that you can work with, that's really all you need. And there we go. So we've got two ears now. All right, so these shapes are probably, the rounded triangles are probably going to be the same exact thing for the eyes and the nose. They're all pretty similar. So we're going to go to the polygon tool again and just click and say, okay. But we need the point to be facing down. So before we do anything, I'm going to just rotate it 180 degrees. So just make it easier to see what I'm doing. And I can either work on the nose first or I can work on the eyes first. I'll work on the nose first. Kind of get the basic shape down before I start to.
I already did mine. I just need the bottom.
And then we'll start to round the corners. So we'll go to Effect. And 0.125 is pretty spot on. So we'll say yeah to that. And then we can see if we can get away with using his nose as his eyes. So I'm gonna, again, select it with the black arrow tool, hit the Option key, and bring one over. And then we'll bring another one over. And I'm gonna just hit E, rotate this one. That looks good. So we got away with at least one nose for an eye. And then I'm gonna hit E again. Rotate that one, and it looks like they use the same shape for all three. There we go. All right, and then next, we'll do some circles over here. Let's go to the ellipses tool. And draw the basic shape. I usually try to go from one edge to the other edge. Then I'm gonna hit the letter E and just rotate it. And open it up a little. Get it perfect. And then once I've got it, I'm gonna, again, hold the Option key, bring it over here, hit the letter E, and rotate them down. There we go. Just squish him down a little. So we've got some eyebrows going. And then I'm gonna hold the Option key, and I'll bring him down over here. And hold the Option key and bring him down over here. So this one needs to rotate a little, so I'm gonna hit the letter E and just start to turn it and open it up and turn it just a little bit. Do the same thing here, select it, hit the letter E and just kind of open it up a little and turn them just a smidge. There we go.
Damn, she did fucking good. God.
And then we've got some whiskers going on here. So for the whiskers, there's a couple of different ways that you could do the whiskers. Trying to think what might be the easiest way for you guys. Do I want to introduce you to the pen tool? Yes. All right. So we're going to take the pen tool. The pen tool, out of all of the tools that you use, is probably going to be the one that's going to take you the longest to master. And that's, you know, that's just how it is. It is a difficult tool to master. And the only thing I can tell you is that you have to just keep working with it. That's really, you know, the best way to put it. So go to the pen tool and make sure that you're on the actual pen tool, not the add an anchor point or delete an anchor point, but the actual pen tool. And what I want you to do is click at the beginning of one of the whiskers and click at the end of one of the whiskers. Whoops. Hold on. But before you let up, pull like that. It's, again, I'm gonna have to show you this one more time. Click, click, don't let up on the mouse or on the trackpad, and pull. You're gonna pull down and to the right, which is going to make the curve lift up and to the left. The curve always goes in the other direction from where you're pulling. So if I pull up to the right, it's gonna go down to the left. See? If I pull down to the right, it's gonna go up to the left. You can see where the other line goes. Again, it's one of those tools that you're just gonna need to get a feel for. And then we'll deal with kind of fixing the stroke of it afterwards. So I'm gonna do it again right here. I'm gonna click, click, and pull without letting up, and then click off. And then once you've clicked off, you need to go back manually to the black arrow tool to just, because if you click again on the screen, it's just gonna basically do this. It's gonna be like, and there'll be no end to all of the paths everywhere. That's why it's a little hard to master. Then I'm gonna do the same thing again. There's also this one, but that one's not really a good one. I don't know why they came up with all these different pens. So make sure you're using like the original pen tool. Click, click, pull up to the black arrow, click off. Click, click, pull up to the black arrow, click off. And then we're gonna have to do kind of the same thing for his mouth, but we can do it as one path. So we'll go click here, pull. Again, let up, but hold the Option key. And you need to grab that little red dot right there and pull it back down like this. So it's almost almost parallel with the line next to it. And then you're gonna click right here, and it's going to do the same path over here. And again, that's something that you're just gonna have to kind of work at. It's not very intuitive how the pen tool works. You just need to keep working with the pen tool. The pen tool took me a couple of years to master, to really, really master it. So don't feel frustrated if you don't get it immediately. All right, then what we're gonna do is, oh yeah, sure. I'll do the mouth one more time. I'll actually, let me zoom in. So I'm starting right here with my pen tool, and I'm clicking. And then I'm clicking here, don't let up and pull. And then I'm letting go and holding the Option key. And you'll see that the pen goes to an anchor, I think they call that. And you need to click right in that red dot right there and pull that red dot down. And what I've done is I pulled it kind of next to the line with the red dot next to it. And then I'm going to click at the end of the mouth to finish off the path. So again, that's the part that's probably the hardest. Yep, I can do the bottom. Yep, I'll show the bottom of the bear right after this. I'll finish this one, then I'll do the bear too.
Thank you.
No problem. All right, so the only thing left that we have to do are these two circles right here. And then we can start thinking about coloring it in and using the Pathfinder tool. So again, what I'm gonna do is, first things first, I'm gonna bring a ruler out to the edge of the circle right here. And then I'm gonna bring a ruler down to this part of the circle and probably right here-ish.
I'm gonna do this though. Here.
And then I'm gonna start drawing and pulling out the circle, because I wanna just follow that line of the cat's face. And then I'm going to draw this circle. And if you don't get it right, you can just go to the black arrow tool and just make a, and pull it to where it needs to go. So now we've got all the shapes in. So it might be easier to start coloring things in at this point. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. The easiest is going to be to use the eyedropper tool, honestly. And you can make some swatches and then follow along with the swatches if you want, or you can just eyedrop right off of the picture and color it in that way.
I couldn't pick at the bottom.
So I'm going to use the eyedropper tool to just select the nose with the black arrow tool first, and then I'm going to go to the eyedropper tool while it's selected, and I'm going to click. And now it's colored it in the same color as the nose behind it. And then I'll do the same thing with both of the eyes. I'm going to select both of the eyes with the black arrow tool, click on the eyedropper tool, and color them in. And then we'll do the cheeks. Click on here and color them in. Click on these and color them in. Now, what I need to do at this point is I need to think about, all right, what's above everything else? If you want to select more than one object, you hold down the Shift key. So I select this one and I hold down the Shift key, let's say, and I select this part of the face, and then I select this part of the face. So I have all three selected. That was a good question, actually, and it kind of leads me to where I was going with this, which is awesome. So I want to select this circle, the face circle, and that circle, and I want to make sure that they're behind the different parts of the face, right? Because I drew this circle technically on top. So I'm going to select those three, and I'm going to go up to Object, Arrange, and I want to say Send to Back. And then I can just click off. And then the ears are going to be behind the face, right? So that way you can't see this part of the ear. So I'm going to grab these two and these two, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to say Object, Arrange, Send to Back. So now I should have everything in the correct order it needs to be in. So I'm going to select the face first, go to the eyedropper tool. There we go. And you'll notice it colored in the other part that I need to eyedrop, right? Because I need to eyedrop what color these circles are, and I can't see them. And I don't want to eyedrop and make them the same color as the rest of the face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the face. I know it's the right color. I'm just going to change the fill color to be the border. So that way I can see the picture coming through. Little trick. And then I'm going to grab this circle, the eyedropper, click right here.
Mama, don't take all day to load.
And then I will click on this one and click right here and oops. That's okay though, because I gotta do a pathfinder for these anyways.
All right, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you.
And then I'm gonna turn the face back to being colored in. So I'll grab this one, and this one more time. And I'm going to say, you know what, for right now, I'm just going to tell it to hide this selection, those three things. So I can't see them, but they're still technically there. Just so I can color in the ears. So I'm going to grab the inside of the ears first. And then do the outside of the, although this ear is a different color. So this ear is this color, this ear is a different color. So this one should be this color. And this one will be this color. And I'm going to deal with the whiskers last. And then I'm going to go back up to Object, and I'm just going to say Show All and bring the face back. All right, so this is where the Pathfinder tool comes in, and we're going to use it a little bit different than what I just showed you. So I need these circles to kind of stay the same color that I've made them, but follow along with the shape of the face, right? So I'm going to select this circle, the big circle, this other little circle down at the bottom left, and then the circle of the face. And I'm going to go down to the Pathfinders, this one where it shows that there's a box, like two boxes on top of each other with a section cut out, like it's three different pieces, because I want to basically slice it into three different pieces. And I'm going to click here. And it's going to look the same, but what it did is it cut all the different pieces. But in order to, and you can see when I selected how there's a piece right here, kind of like a half moon, the inside of the half moon, the face, and then this part. So, and it got rid of the color, randomly enough, of my face. So I'm going to have to color that back in. So I'm going to go to my white arrow tool, and I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to delete that. Then I'm going to, still with my white arrow tool, I'm going to click up here on that half moon area. I'm going to delete that. Then I am going to go up to View, Outline, because I need to find the face. It's kind of hard to see. And I'm going to select that area, and I'm going to eyedrop it the correct color. Preview. I already coloring it in. Why didn't you color it in? Oh, I know why. Hold on. This one's a little bit, if you were following completely along with me, just do a Command Z a couple of times. I gotta do this, we gotta splice it a little bit different. This is gonna get a little technical. All right. I know how to tell it what I want it to do. Hold on, let me just test something real quick. Sometimes you have to make a copy of each of them, and you have to kind of do it twice. So hold on. Edit, copy, edit, paste in place, and edit, copy, edit, paste and back, just in case I need to do that. All right, so I'm going to select the first circle in this, and I am going to say, not that one. There we go. I'm going to do this one. So now I just get that shape. All right, that's what I thought I had to do. And then I'm going to copy this again, just in case. And I'm going to grab the bottom circle and the face, and I'm going to do the same thing, the third one over. And I get that shape. Perfect. I can delete those extra ones I made. And then I should have my face, which is, hold on, where'd you go? Copy, edit, paste in place. Arrange, send back. There we go. And grab each of these. There we go. And I still have a face. All right, so you almost need 3 copies of the face, which is kind of weird. So I had to copy the face 3 times. So I'm going to show you that part again. Hold on. Because again, it's a little bit weird how I had to do that. Just want to get back to where I was originally. Object, show all. There we go. All right. So this is where we started. So the face, I need 3 copies of the face. So I'm going to select the face, and I'm going to say edit, copy, edit, paste and back. And then I'm going to do another paste and back, and one more just in case, paste and back. And I've got 1 of each of the circles. I'm going to select the first circle, this big one over here, hold down Shift and select the face at the same time, and I'm going to use this third Pathfinder tool and click. And that gives me that shape right here, and I still have a face left. Next, I'm going to select the face and this circle, and again, use the third Pathfinder tool. Now I have this shape, and I have my third face left. I might even have an extra one. I have 1 extra one, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. And then we've got the ears are behind where they need to be. This ear's behind where it needs to be. Let's check out our layers. Turn that off for a second. I've got the full cat. The only thing we have left to do at this point is fix the whiskers. So to fix the whiskers, what I want to do is select each of them again by holding down Shift. Where are you? Where's that other one? Come on. You, and you. There we go. And I need to change the stroke color of it to the correct color. So I'm going to go to the eyedropper tool, and change it to that gray, and I had to flip it back. And then I'm gonna open up the stroke tool, which is over here, the lines, or you can do it up here too, but you're gonna have more options over here.
In here, so I can fucking email it to this computer.
And I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for my weight, and where it's the cap is squared off, I wanna round it because the whiskers were rounded on the edges. And that will be those 4 whiskers. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the mouth. The mouth was rounded too, but I think the mouth was darker. So I'm going to do it the same color as the nose, but see how it colors it in? I need to flip it back to being the border. And again, do 1, 2, 3. Probably, I think that one was only 3, but I'm going to round the corners again.
This, that color. And this.
And then there we go. We've got the cat. And then you can turn off that layer to see what it looks like. Make sure everything looks good. And there you go. You get the cat. All right. So next I'm going to do the bear.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you.
Let me just get rid of my rulers.
Okay, so high ruler.
So let me go back in and grab the bear. All right, so I'm going to do a file place. And where are you, bear? There he is. Oh, I forgot I'm on the wrong layer. Hold on 1 second. I need to fix my template. Okay. All right, so for the bear, I am gonna, again, I'm gonna work in order. So by order, I mean what is in the back first, working my way to the front. So this is behind this, which 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 is behind this. It just makes it the easiest to kind of work in that order. So it looks like I've got a lot of circles going for this one. So I'm gonna drag my ruler over again, just to the edge right here, and this edge. And I know that the circle's gonna kind of come down like this, and I'm gonna need to use a circle to cut out the bottom right here. So I can just kind of click and start dragging until it looks like the size I need it to be. Let me make it hot pink. And again, you just gotta kind of keep working at it. There we go. And just get them close enough. That's definitely close enough. And then next, let's look at his body here. So he might have a circle for his body. Well, he's definitely got a circle for his little tail right here. So we'll make that. And he might even have a couple of circles going for his body. So let's see if we can get that done with a couple of circles. Like that. And then maybe even, I don't know if his legs, if we can get away with circles for his legs. We'll see. No, I think we're gonna have to use some rounded rectangles for this. Possibly.
God.
We got one little paw right there. And again, I'm just gonna make one leg and then we can make a copy of it.
Oh my God, it's not letting me do it.
With the rounded rectangle?
God.
Well, let's see if we can add a rounded rectangle and maybe a circle. Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Let's see if we can pull in and rotate these. There we go.
Damn. Hold on.
So I'm gonna make one like that.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna just make another one right here. We'll worry about adding them together afterwards. And then E again. I'm just rotating it. So I'm using all the same kind of tricks that I used with the other little guy. To make this one. All right. So I've got 1, 2, 3 rounded rectangles here. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the 3 of them together, and I'm going to hit the Option key and start to drag it over, but you'll notice it's backwards. So if you have a 2-button mouse, what you would do is right-click. If you don't have a 2-button mouse or you're using your trackpad, you would hit Control and click, and it's going to bring up these options that you can do. And what we need to do is we need to tell it to reflect, kind of like looking in a mirror. So I'm going to go to Transform, Reflect. And it should default to vertical 90 degrees. It does show you, if you have preview click, what it's going to do. And then just hit OK. And we'll bring it over. And then we've got the second leg. So we've got definitely a few more circles going on here. We've got this circle for his belly.
Okay. I'm getting it now.
And then we've got what looks to be a circle for his head, but I don't think it's going to be a circle. I think it's going to be some crazy rounded triangle is my guess. So for that, we're going to have to use the polygon tool.
I'm gonna hit polygon tool.
And click. And we want to say 3 sides for a triangle.
Okay.
And then I'm going to kind of just make it the shape before we start rounding his corners. Which you can see, like, you'll see like these little dots right here. That dot, if you start to move down your cursor and it gives you a curve, that's how you can start to pull on that dot to add in those the curved sides. And then just kind of pull up a little. Do it again until you start to get like the correct shape that you need. It's, you know, it's just kind of trial and error in a way. Get his face. There we go. Starting to come along a little bit.
Move the bear. Not.
There we go. So we've got one part of the face, and then his ears are probably circles. So we're gonna have to just send them to the back after we make them because they're behind his head. So we're gonna do one circle. And then 2 circles. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make, it'd be easier to just draw them than make a copy. Another circle. And another circle. And then we need to grab all 4 of those circles that we just drew. And we need to say object, arrange, send to back. Because those are going to be behind his head. All right, so then let's think of order here. We can do the eyes next. So the eyes, let's zoom in, are gonna be a circle, and then we're gonna have to do a circle cutout. Yes, I am. One eye. Oops. Accidentally moved him, not made a copy. 2 eyes, and then I'm gonna make the other circle, which is gonna be the cutout circle. There we go. We got 2 eyes there. It's gonna be in the announcements. I'm gonna post it in the announcements, so you'll be able to get it from there. Just so that way everybody can see. All right, and then for his face, well, this part of his face. So we know we definitely need a circle for this part. And possibly a rounded triangle here. I just don't know if, I don't know if a circle's gonna do it. Well, it might, actually. There we go. Yeah, that works. And then a circle for his nose. And we'll do the pen tool again for his mouth. So I'm gonna click here, click and drag, and let go, and then I'm gonna hit Option, and grab this part of the red dot, and bring it up to his nose. And then instead of redrawing it, I'm gonna make a copy of this one and just reflect it, because we don't need to do it twice. So I'm gonna hit Edit, Copy, Edit, Paste in place. And then again, I'm either gonna right click or control click, depending on what you have for a mouse or not a mouse. And I'm going to say Transform, Reflect, vertical 90 degrees, and then just move it over to the other side. And now he's got a mouth.
That's easier than what he was doing.
Well, there's a couple of different ways that you can do things. there's always more than one way to do something, and some people do things different ways. So then we just need to take out like his little bum right here. Little bum, be gone. And we'll even do another circle right here and round off his bottom. Like that. See if I can try to match. All right. So now we need to start thinking about the paths that we're doing. All right, let's do the combined ones first. So we know that this circle right here and this circle right here, we need to combine them for the face. So like the cream part of the face. So I'm gonna select this oval and then this circle. And I'm gonna go up to the Pathfinder and I'm gonna select combine for those ones. And it gives me that shape. Then I'm going to select the front circle and the back circle that were the eyes, and I want to say the one that's second from the left, that's the minus front, and it's going to remove this section so we get kind of like that crescent moon shape, which looks like it might be a little bit too big, but it's fine once you fill it in. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Select both of those and use the same one and get that crescent moon shape. And then, let's see. Let's do the remove this. So I'm going to select that last circle I drew down at the bottom for his little bum. And actually, before I even do that, I think this one right here might work better. I drew a circle, but I think a rounded rectangle, a rounded triangle is going to be the better option. So hold on, I'm going to fix that. Just like I did for his face. So I'm going to click in, just draw a quick triangle. Let's see. If you want to keep your circle, I'm sure it's fine. Like, you know, I'm being a little bit particular with myself right now. Just gotta zoom out a little so I can see go with my shape here. Bring it in a little, pull it up a little, bring it in a little, pull it up a little. That looks a little bit better. Yeah, that looks a little bit better, I think, anyways. A little bit closer to the actual shape. There we go. And so I'm going to tell this, I'm going to select that triangle I just made, and I'm going to say Object, Arrange, and I want to send it to the back. And then I'm going to select that circle and that new triangle. And I want to say minus front, that one that's the second over from the left in the shape. There we go, and I get that great shape.
She's telling me how to do my bear.
And then I'm going to select the little tail that he's got in the body, and I'm going to combine that. And then next up, we need to combine these crazy legs that we made right here. So we're going to select this, all these rounded triangles that we made. This one, this one, this one, this circle, and then that first circle. And we're going to say combine. And then I think that's all we have to do for the Pathfinder tool. We'll see. And we can start coloring them in. So I'm gonna grab his face first. Oh, actually, let's color the different parts of his face in. That'll make it a little bit easier. So let's zoom in. Because once we color in the face, we won't be able to see the parts. So I'm gonna select each of the eyes. I'm gonna go to the eyedropper tool. I'm gonna select that grayish color of his eyes. Then I'm gonna select his nose next, color that in. And then his mouth is the same color as his nose. So again, I'm gonna go to the eyedropper tool, and it's gonna fill it in as a fill. I just need to flip it with the little arrow and expand the weight a little bit. Probably to 3 and make sure it's capped, the rounded cap. Then I'm gonna select this part of his face. Eyedropper tool. There we go. And then I'll do the inside of his ears.
Yes, and he wouldn't tell me.
And then the outside of his ears. And then the face itself. It's technically the same color as the ears, so just grab that. And then we've got the back part of the body. Oops, send that to the back object. Send back. There we go. And I can't see the other part, so I'm just gonna change that for a second. This is this color. This is this color. And flip him again. And then we can go to our layers and just turn off our template and look at our bear we drew. All right, well, you'll need to let your instructor know that it's going to be late. That's all. I believe you have to make it the exact colors that it is in the picture. And I'm just going to stop the recording.